All right, week 20, you guys. Welcome, welcome. And I'm really proud of myself for recording this morning. I'm so sorry for those that missed it last week because of my inability to record. But yeah, let's just get going. I am super excited about this week. I have a really fun activity for you guys. So this morning, why don't you guys get out a paper and pen, have that ready because we're going to do something a little bit later. But first off, announcements. Thank you everyone that came on the Zoom last night. I thought it went really, really well. I thought we had some really fun people on and we had some good interest, some good questions, super low key, laid back. Like that's how I like it. So really when we're inviting to these every week, prep people. Say it is super low key. I want you to come with your questions. If they can watch the webinar information before, that's even better. But if not, that's okay too. But have them come with questions and just say, as many questions as you can, let's go over them because that's what makes it fun and low key. If everyone's just kind of silent, then, we're just telling stories, which is okay too. But remember that. Then, so thank you for all of, for coming on there. Thank you for everyone's participation in the Tuesday 20 too, for those of you who could hop on and do that. If you didn't see, I put out a little post saying, whoever can come or whoever can comment here, and then I used all of you guys. So if you guys are wanting, places to grow and places to get better, like, make sure and let me know if you're available and want to be involved in more of those trainings because I was so impressed with the answers that you guys came up with. Like seriously, some of that stuff, I had no idea some of you were even doing some of that. So thank you. I can't thank you enough. And then again, the Christmas party this Friday. If you have, if you make sure you're telling your teams too. And anyone, any interested coaches, like I know Becky, like if you have anyone here in Utah that you want to come, it's not out of the question, just send them here. So there's that. I think that's all for announcements. For the Coach Explore Zoom next week, we'll do it again next week. I'm not sure what time. I'm really just going by you guys. So whoever gets to me first and tells me first, who has somebody that they have 100% is going to come or 99% is going to come. You never know for sure, but if you're like, hey, this person for sure wants it Tuesday at 7 p.m., then if it's within reason with my schedule, if I can make it work, I'm going to go with that, go with the first person. So you get priority if you jump to it and have somebody to invite. So, sometimes we'll do on Friday. Friday is a good day for me because it's at the end of the week. I have all week to invite, but we're just going to keep moving that around. So don't be surprised if it's not always on the same day. You guys understand why, right? So that we can get a different crowd every single time. Because if we did on Friday at 10 every week, you would be, there'd be a lot of people that couldn't come to that. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay. Is there any feedback on those that you want me to try to do? Anything that you would suggest? I felt like it went well. I don't know. I don't know how it came across to your people. Any feedback on that? Okay. If you do, don't be afraid to tell me. If I said something weird, just be like, no, don't say that next time. Because I'm totally up for like suggestions, or I'm not set in my ways. So, okay. So let's jump right into it. I'm so excited to talk about the chapter 3 through 7. So let's hear from you guys, just first initial thoughts, takeaways, and then we're going to get into our activity that is with these chapters. What do you guys think?
You know what I love? I love when he talks about being obsessed and finding your purpose, that it's okay that it changes and that it's fluid and that you need to ask yourself every day. And I think that's important so you can find your why and you can remember why you're health coaching, and your purpose for health coaching might change down the road. Or, and I think it's important, especially like when he says you're in a slump, and I love, he says you don't have to love what you're doing to love what you're doing.
Love that. Yes.
You don't have to love, and I've thought about that. I'm like, as I look at my list, I'm like, I don't have to love inviting people to health coaching to love health coaching, but I need to do it. Like you still pick, he talked about his dad picking up the pecans. He still picked them up and all the branches and all the sticks. You still have to do it to love what you do, you know? And he's like, you work so hard that you love what you become really good at it. And so I just loved that. I'm like, you don't have to like or love what you do to love what you do.
Yep.
So.
Doesn't that go for everything? Doesn't that go for motherhood? Yes.
Yeah.
Comes over, right? Dirty diapers, tantrums, sick kids,
puke on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens all the time, but we still love it. But why is it different with coaching? Is it that we have an option, that we have an out almost, like that we don't have to be doing it, that makes it so that it like makes our brains go, like, I guess, I don't love that part, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, isn't that funny? And that with not so much with this group, because I feel like this is a very committed group, but more like with our coaches, when they're not even senior coach here, they just come on, they're like, should I do this or not? And it's like the second one client quits, they're out. It's like, you would never do that with your kid if you had a baby, and then second they have a poopy diaper, like, nope, I'm never mind, right? So I love the pecan tree analogy. Love, 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 love that, because how many times, just think about your day today or yesterday. There are honestly, sometimes it's 50-50. Sometimes 50% of the time, goes back to that 50-50 rule that we talked about a few weeks ago. Sometimes 50% of the time, we're doing those things that can be frustrating, that can be daunting, that can be boring, that are pushing us uncomfortable out of our comfort zone. But yet the other 50% of the time, all of a sudden it's like we have so much fun. We're talking to those clients that have those big, mind shifts, and we're helping them out, and we're having a coach that succeeds, and we're having so much fun. We're at a Christmas party with our coaching friend, all those things that we love, but it is sometimes at 50-50. So I'm so glad you brought that up, Lamira. Good. What else?
I love how the chapter 4 talks about feed the beast. It's basically like what we do as coaches to the mental side of things. How we think is how it is. And so he says, what you pay attention to is what you get. And the more attention you give something, the more you feed it, the stronger and more powerful it grows. So when we are feeding the beast of coaching and we are loving it and giving it attention and being consistent, then things are more awesome. I marked, reaching my potential feeds me. Whenever I am doing and I am continuing to become better, that feeds me, that fuels me. And then I like how he said, feed the beast and starve the doubt, because I'm a huge person about doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will.
That's your thing, girl.
It is my thing. It is my thing. And then he said, if you feed the beast, your dreams have a chance of becoming reality. And it is so true. I just gave myself the chills reading that again, because of coaching, we're going to the Philippines. Because of coaching, we get to do all these things that I never thought like my dreams could come true. And so feeding, coaching, and being able to share with other people is reaching my potential. I love it.
Amazing. That saying, I need to put that up on my wall. Feed the beast, fuel the beast, starve the doubt. That's what it is, right? Yeah. So powerful. That's so great. And Jess, you look like, seriously, like such a professional. You're such a beautiful, I was telling her, I can't believe 9 a.m. in the morning, she's all dressed and all ready to go. I love it. She's frozen right now. She probably didn't hear me, but she looks pretty today. Okay. So yes, I just love that portion of it. And that just and again, it's not just with coaching, it's every part of our life, right? When we are feeding that, you just feel it more. Honestly, this is with religion, with spirituality. When you're feeding that more, isn't it just that much more? You just feel it. And then when you have that doubt or you're lazy or you're not reading your scriptures, not close to the Lord, it just that separation becomes even more. So true principles are true principles no matter what. And so we think, I hear this all the time with coaching. It's I don't know, I'm just not feeling it right now. It's okay, why aren't we feeling that? It's because of us, right? Okay. Who else?
I don't know if this was already said because I hopped on late for a crazy morning, but I liked what he said about making time fit our needs and how we can combine things to fulfill several different purposes. Like he gave the example of taking his kids with him to the gym and doing a workout together so that he was spending time with his family, but also taking care of something that was a need for him. And so just being more intentional about our time and how we use it. And if there's ways that we can accomplish certain things combined to do that so that we make the most of that time.
Love that. Love that. Like right now, I have this sick little guy sitting right here. He just loves to cuddle. And I get cuddle time and I get to work. I love it. But yes, I actually don't remember listening to that. So thank you for pointing that out. That's a really good point. Like, whoa, what was I doing?
Probably taking care of kids.
I was working out, but I must have been thinking about something else about what he says. I listened to it in like 1.5 speed. So I should probably listen to it a little bit slower because I think I missed some stuff.
Yeah, how do you listen to him at 1.5 speed? He's already there.
You know what? That's a good point. I just always do all my books. I feel like I'm like accomplishing more. But you're right. He does talk kind of fast. So I'll slow that down. Good point. Love that. Anything else, you guys?
I think I keep thinking of the thought that when we get satisfied, we get stuck. And kind of going off what someone's already talked about reaching your potential, like as soon as you, because he talked about getting burnt out, and what we get burnt out when we aren't clear on our purpose. And I think that can come with coaching, that when we're not clear on our purpose and what we're obsessed with and what we're excited with, then it's not about being burnt out, because we can keep going. He's like, we can burn the candle at both ends. But when we don't have that purpose that drives us to feed the beast, the fuel to move forward. And so I really, I love that. And at one point he was talking about, in his business, he'd go in every day, talk every 10, 15 minutes, talk to his employees, put his hands out, how's it going? Isn't this awesome? Keeping them focused on our purpose. And so, and I'm thinking, because there are times during the day I'm like, well, I'm definitely not focused on my purpose. I have this last week, I'm like, be obsessed. And I'm still working on being obsessed because I find myself becoming complacent and satisfied. But is being sad? Am I really happy? And I think I feel like I've lied to myself at times. I'm like, I'm happy with being content. Why do I want to be happy with being content if this life is all about progression?
But are you
want to be happy with being still, or we don't have true happiness unless we're really
exactly. And that's what we tell ourselves, we're happy when we're content, right? Or we think we're going to be happy.
We lie to ourselves. I lie to myself way too much.
It's true. You have to really think. Okay. In the past, Marcy. Well, how long do you feel like you've been happy? How long do you feel like you've been content? First of all,
like a year.
Okay, a year. In the past year, do you really feel like you've been your happiest?
I mean, have I been happy? Have I been unhappy?
You've been happy.
No.
You're a happy person.
I feel like I've reached the potential I could have this past year? No.
Yeah. And does that bring you satisfaction?
It makes me sad. Like, wow, what could I have accomplished this year if I would have been focused on my purpose? And I mean, granted, sometimes our purpose with coaching is our purposeful is keeping it going.
Yeah.
And we have, we're focusing on other purposes, but at the same time, that doesn't mean we still can't be obsessed and growing with coaching. I don't know. And when he says there's no balance, and I think do you guys remember he talked about he's like, there's no such thing as balance. And I kind of was like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't have balance. It's okay.
Isn't it kind of nice to hear that? Like, I feel like that's like what we're trained to do, like balance your like motherhood and work and this and this. And it's like, you never find the balance. You're always worried about the balance in your head, and just throw out the balance. Like, you don't need balance. Literally, it's your purpose. And then that's what drives you, Marcy. Like, I love how you said that. And I love how he explains that is you don't get worn out when you are obsessed with your purpose. And have you guys felt that? Like, I can so identify with that it's almost like I don't need as much sleep. I don't need as much, like, I don't get tired in the afternoons as much. Like, I find that energy because I'm energized with what I'm doing. Not that I'm like not taking care of myself and I never have, time for myself. Yes. But it's like almost like you find an excuse to just get in a little bit more and be a little bit more productive. It's so much easier. And that's what I've loved about coaching over the past 6 years. I remember waking up and feeling so like just, okay, same thing. Like, let's do the laundry, let's do the dishes, let's take care of these kids every day. And it's like, it kind of got to me. I wanted something to drive me. I wanted to take a nap every single day back then. And now it's like, I don't have time for a nap because I'm so excited what I'm trying to accomplish. I don't have time for that nap anymore. So I love that, Marcy. Very well said. Any other thoughts on what we read this week?
I don't want to take somebody else's time, but man, I got a lot. I loved this book. I listened to the whole thing, and I liked how he said that, because we've had a thing about posting too much. And I've always had this, should I post? Should I not post? And now I think I'm to the point where I don't even care anymore after reading this. I'm not going to have it be like, okay, on Wednesdays, and then what when was the last time I post? Like that he posts like every 5 minutes. And what I loved is that he said some guy blocked him. So he said, if I lose followers because I post too much, I assume they were never going to do business with me anyway. If a person goes away because I push too hard, call too much, or send too many emails, then it's likely they're not the type of person I want to do business with, and not the type of person who understands what it means to be obsessed. And then he says he had somebody call him and blocked him and said, I had to block you because you post too much or unfollow you or whatever. And his reply was, love me or hate me, at least now you know me. And I was like, love it. And then he said,
so great.
And then he said, what's most interesting is that he was at a speech in Austin, and this guy who had blocked him was now paying to come see him in person.
So true. Oh my word. That is the best. That is the best. And we've all had experiences like that, right? Where it's like those naysayers, they turn and they go, oh, it's working for her. Interesting. Remember one of my first practical, I shared this on Monday in our small coach training group. But one of my first practice calls was a lady that she said, I don't know if I would want a coach like you that's never struggled with their weight. I don't know if you could relate to me. And that was one of my first practice calls, you guys. So you can imagine, like, I was like kind of beside myself. I did not have the emotional intelligence that I have gained over the years. It kind of got to me. And so but she has a couple years later, I'd probably say like 3 years, no, probably like 4 years ago. So like 2 years after that, she became a client. She was a great client. So they come around, and it's kind of, I don't know about you guys, I don't know if this reflects badly on me, but I love proving it. Like, I love saying those people drive me. Prove it. Yeah, say it. Prove it. And when you have those naysayers, it's like fuel to the fire. It's like, well, okay, well, watch me, because that, like, I'm going to do the exact opposite. And I'm so excited for them to look and say, whoa, that actually worked for her. So it's fun. So use it to your advantage.
And the way that he looked at it was those naysayers ended up branding him, like actually helping his business. So in BNI, we had a visitors day. It's a business networking group Tuesday morning. And I had like 2 or 3 people say something. Well, the reason why we don't have donuts here is because Jessica's here. And I'm like, yep, we're not having crap in the morning. I'm like, if I have anything to do with it, yeah, bagels and fruit is good enough. Enough carbs. We don't need to add in the crappy donuts too.
Now they're frozen.
They're gonna come back though. I'm gonna get back on. I'm back. My internet is so weird, it goes out sometimes. So, did I interrupt anyone? Anyone else who can say something? Okay. All right. So, any others before we move on? Didn't want to cut anybody off. Before we move on to our activity. Take about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. So, get out a piece of paper. Here we go. So, you might have heard these questions, but we're going to take some time to answer them really quickly. You might have already answered them, but if you're like me, I just listened. I didn't actually write down. Write these down, and this is like first initial answer. Don't think about it for a million years, and that's why we're going to go through them on here fast, because I know if I give you a worksheet, you would sit there for an hour and try to answer these, because you guys are A+ students. But this is B work. We like B work. We don't like A+ work. Okay. Okay, so answer these questions. Okay, so what excites me right now? What excites me right now? One sentence. Okay, look up when you're done so I kind of know. Give me an idea. But we're going to go kind of fast because we don't have tons of time.
And you're talking about answering these about with coaching, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter, honestly. You know what? No, it does not matter. This is just anything. What excites me right now? Okay. What is so exciting? What is so exciting that you would do anything to accomplish it? What excites you so much that you would do anything to accomplish it? I'm trying to think. Okay, what bores you? What drains the energy out of you where you're just blah? Okay, next one. What are the things that you have always, what is one thing you have always wanted to do? No matter what the payoff is, how much money you would make or not make, what would you not want to do? Absolutely, you know, no negotiation. I am not blank. What is one thing that you do that you are so involved in, that you get so excited about, that you like forget to eat? And you forget what time it is, you have no sense of anything else because you're just so absorbed in this thing. What have you been interested in since childhood? What would you do for no money? If you were not compensated a dime, what would you still do with your time? Hey, Gretchen, welcome. We're just taking a quiz. What would you like to do for a lot of money and spend a lot of time on? Like kind of like ideal dream job, like, or whatever. They paid you to do this thing and spend your time. What would it ideally be? I want to know what you're thinking.
I know where this is from. It's from Grant Cardone.
You got it.
Do it this morning.
You're gonna chop it up, Gretchen. But did you say? Did you read this part?
Yeah,
Good.
I read this part this morning. Yeah.
Good. Good. Have you answered the questions yet? Okay. Oh, no worries, Mars. Yes, we're recording today. Hallelujah. Okay. If money meant nothing, this is a little different question than the beginning. If money meant nothing, so you weren't paid to do it or anything, money, you had everything taken care of, money meant nothing, what would you do? You weren't worried about bills, you weren't worried about paying for your kids' soccer, you weren't, nothing like that. You just had all that taken care of. What money meant nothing, what would you do? It's kind of a fun thought, huh?
Surprised at my butt.
Okay. Okay, moving on to, one more section. Okay, what amount of money would you need to make to have complete financial freedom? First answer, don't think about it too long. The number amount. Complete financial freedom. Boom, write it down.
Is this like a month or a year or what? I don't know.
However you want to say it. Whatever's important to you. Okay, this is a little bit different question. What amount of money would you really need to have choices and make a difference in yours and others' lives? I love how you said that, choices, to have choices and to make a difference in yours and others' lives. It can be the same, it can be different. Okay, what is a talent that is unique to you? What have you always been good at? What is a talent that you ignore right now, that you aren't fully taking advantage of? That maybe you've noticed in the past, but you're not really using it right now. Sorry, we're kind of going fast. What do you do right now that's a waste of your time and your talents? I love that question. What do you do right now that's a waste of your time and your talents? And that's how he said it, by the way. What are some skills you need to develop? Not need, I hate that word. Actually, I'm going to replace that with, what are some skills you would like to develop. Okay, 2 more questions. Am I going too fast, you guys? Are we doing okay? Okay. I don't want you to like feel stressed. Gotta get it down. I just love looking at you guys because I'm thinking of like all you guys in school, like what good students you all were. I can just tell you guys were all like really good students. I feel so lucky to be like the teacher right now. I can't imagine a whole class full of you guys. Okay, so what are some skills you want to develop? Okay, so what do you need to or want to, however you want to say it, need to or want to do more of to feel better? What do you need in your life that you need to feel better or to bring you more joy? I love this. I remember talking to Wendy Christensen about this the other week. This is powerful. What brings you joy and what do you need, you know, are you doing that right now? And if not, what do you need to do more of? Okay, and then the last question. It's 2-part. What do you need to start and what do you need to stop doing? What do you want to stop and what do you want to start doing right now to help you get to your goals? I'll give you just a minute more on that one because that's a big one. Okay, so that activity, I want to hear some of your takeaways from that activity, but what I loved about that is after he said those, he said, congratulations, you just focused on you. You just got obsessed with you. That's what he means, is like you just got obsessed with what you want. Because sometimes when I'm listening to that, I'm like, yeah, okay, but like logistically, like, how do I do this? And this is an activity that he shared of like how you're able to connect with that and how you're able to like rekindle that fire. He says he does this. Did he say every day? Like it was like really, really often. I was like, whoa, he said his yellow notepad or whatever. And he would write these down daily, if not weekly, and just get really, really connected. No wonder he has that energy. And I thought, anytime that I'm feeling that low, it is, like Marcy said, reconnecting with that passion, but also this is a way to do that. Think about, okay, what am I really want? Do we actually give ourselves permission to do that daily, on a daily basis? Or do we have all those shoulds and those, oh, I've got to do this and this and this and this, and our life is literally running. We are being run by our lives, by all of our commitments, but by what we think other people want us to do or what other people need us to do. Or do we give ourselves permission to be obsessed with what we want to be obsessed with? Because if we're trying to be obsessed with what other people want of us, it's not going to work because it's not what we want. It has to line up. We have to want that. So I just wanted to give you permission, because he gives us permission in the book. And I don't know what happened when he said that. He said, I give you permission to be obsessed with what you want to be obsessed about. It just lifted a load off of my shoulders. I felt so much lighter. I felt like I needed to be given that permission. And I don't know what was keeping me from that, but I needed to be told that so that I could move forward, so that every day I make that a conscious decision. And I've been practicing that for the past couple of weeks, and it's been so, I do it when I work out in the morning. I give myself permission to give myself that alone time in the morning, and it's just like the day goes so much better from that. So what are you guys' takeaways from that?
For
I think
me,
for me, it was surprising how hard it was for me to come up with something that I get excited about, or that I would, it doesn't matter what amount of money I would be paid, what would I do? Like it was hard to come up with something.
Isn't that interesting? Like we think, sometimes in our brains we think, okay, like, oh, like I would not be doing this if I had a lot of money or whatever. But then we think, okay, what would I be doing though? And then you think, well, I don't know, probably this. We like trick our brains. So I totally, yeah, that totally makes sense. And it might take some more thought. Think about that a little bit more, Lori.
Yeah.
That might take some
Well, I think we get so caught up in the checklist and what we have to do that we don't even ever think of what we would do otherwise. So it's hard to come up with something.
That's huge. Okay, I didn't think of it like that, but that's so true. We don't give ourselves permission to think about what we want because we got to do, I have to do this. I need to do this. My daughter needs this. My son needs this. My husband needs this. And yeah, they're going to need those things. But we're making time for ourselves too. Okay.
for me, I realize I have issues with letting people down. Does that make sense? So, and so then it becomes an obligation and it's not fun anymore. You know, whatever it is, whether it's motherhood or health coaching, like suddenly I'm like, oh, I said I'm going to do this. And so, yeah, I want to keep my commitments, but I love that whole permission of like, let yourself be obsessed with it or be obsessed with something else. Like it's the whole emotional eating thing. Let yourself like quit resisting the cookie. Tell yourself you can have the dang cookie, but do you want the cookie? You know, it's like getting, well, what's my purpose? You know, I think it's that same mentality. And I think because we have to go, it's okay. Like if I don't want a health coach, it's okay. Like I may let somebody down, but that's their issue, not mine.
Yep.
But I mean, there are some things like saying I just don't want to be a mom. Like I'm like, that's what I probably can do.
Exactly.
But then I have to think, okay, but if I go back to that, how happy am I going to be if I let go of that? What's going to happen if I let go of it? If I let go of being a mom, I'm not going to like that.
Right.
If I let go of being a health, you know, I'm like, I have to look at what's the opposite.
Yep.
What am I obsessed with? And sometimes it's doing something else for a minute to realize how much something fills your bucket. And so, you know, to kind of let go and then go back and go like, oh, wait, this really fills my bucket. Like being a mom, being with my kids fills my bucket. It drains it too. Being a health coach really fills my bucket, you know? And so, I don't know. I just love that. Like, just give yourself permission. And it's about you. It's not about, man, am I going to let Chantel down if I didn't make 10 calls today? Like, no, Chantel's worried about Chantel. Like, she wants to help me, but it's not about, like, it has to be about what I do. Does that make sense? I don't know.
100%. 100%. I actually have an example of this morning. So my son, I made him all lunches this morning and I had him out on the counter and he was just whining. He couldn't find his lunchbox, you know, and he was just bawling, like uncontrollably bawling. And I could not handle it because he was sick and my others, you know, they were like literally all saying, Mom, Mom, Mom. And I was like, I just looked at them all. I'm like, I'm locking my door. You guys can figure it out yourself. I'll be back for scripture study. And I literally just locked my door and I got all ready for like a half hour and I came back and I kind of felt a little bit guilty. I had that guilt come on, like a good mom would help your son like find their lunchbox. You know, a good mom would do this and this and this, right? But I just put that aside and I said, no, this is what I need right now. I need peace and quiet and I need not my kids, you know, I'm not going to be helping them right now. And then I came out and I felt so much better. And they had resolved it. Like, actually, he had resolved it by saying, I'm just going to eat school lunch. And I was like, okay, great. You know, and I had to be okay with that because I spent time making him lunch. And that was kind of hard for me because I was like, no, you should be taking, you know, the lunch I made you. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to pick my battles. And it was just amazing how much better I felt than if I would have gotten mad at him or said like, oh, you always lose your lunchbox, or like spent a half hour trying to find it, which I really don't want to because he probably left it at school, you know? So it's like sometimes it's just realizing, and when I came out, I wanted to help him. Like I felt differently about it. I didn't want to help him then, but I felt differently about it. So Yes, great point. Love, love, love. It's funny how that, you see things differently this morning. And I felt empowered, almost like from this group and from this book, I felt empowered to say, no, this is what I need right now. And I'm not going to fall in that trap of like what a good mom would do, because this is me. So anyway, good. What other, yeah, Corinne.
One thing that I was thinking just as I was reading and doing these questions and stuff is, like, sometimes we have this desire to be obsessed with something, but because we have been told that being obsessed is bad, we kind of stifle it. And I realized that deep down, I do have this obsession with health coaching and stuff like that. And I've been wanting to progress, or, had this obsession with being healthy and stuff, but I keep stifling it and accommodating everyone else because I'm afraid of what will happen if I am obsessed with it. And so it's been interesting about like small example, but like making dinners at home. So I am like, no, we don't make rice anymore. We make cauliflower rice. We don't eat this anymore. You're going to eat sugar-free syrup on your pancake, like in all of these things. But, and that's what my obsession would say. But then everyone else like, no, you can't do that to us, and all this stuff that I just keep, okay, fine. We'll just do this for you and this for you and this for you. And I just keep accommodating. And I sit and I think about, I'm like, is that helping anybody? No, it's not. Like, and small examples, really small, but like, how often do we just push it down and just accommodate for everybody and put our desires aside for those reasons? And so I really love kind of like what you were saying about being given permission. I don't know what it is, even as adults, like we have to feel like we have permission to do something. But it's like, no, I can be obsessed with making healthy food for my family, and gosh darn it, they're going to like it, whether they like it or not, and stuff like that. Like, or I don't know, small example, but just something I was thinking about. So
that is so huge. Like, that gets me excited for you. Like, you're free to do that. If you want to do that, if that's where you want to spend your energy and you're excited about that, there is nothing wrong with that. Like,
and we don't need to apologize for it either.
You don't have to apologize it. Exactly. So, such a good example of that. And that's just shown in a little way, but it's so powerful. And I feel like once you have those small wins of those moments of, no, this is what I'm going to stick to. This is what I want. And then it like shows up in bigger areas of your life too. Like, no, and one for me is working out. Like, no, this is what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden in bigger things in my life, it's like, I'm showing up more. Like, no, I'm sticking to this. So practice with those small things. It's huge. Hey,
I love that. And when she was saying that, I thought, hashtag health coach mom. Boom. Right there. That's a post. That's a post you could do. Already done one today for the health moss. Who cares? You can post twice. It doesn't matter.
I love it. They can block you. They can hate you, but at least they know you.
They know you. I love that.
Hello.
No, I'll tell you what I was laughing at. The question that it said, what would I do for no money? And I was like, oh, serve others. Like this stupid little, of course I could serve others for no money. You're not supposed to be paid for that anyway. And then I was like, oh, Christmas parties. Maybe I could do that because I've been thinking about trying to have a Christmas party, and like, that's still stupid. And then I put dance, and I would dance for free and learn how to do some awesome pop dance moves. That's when I started laughing out loud. I was like, oh my gosh, I never even knew that about myself. But I've always wanted to take like a hip hop class or something like that, and I never have. So now I know what my next thing is.
You'd be so good. Oh my gosh.
Health coach dance party right there, led by Jess.
Yeah. They're taking a notch up. Can you imagine if we all took like dance hip hop classes? How awesome our next convention would be.
It'd be so fun.
That's your assignment this week. Go and roll. You didn't know this was coming. Oh, awesome. All right, you guys, I fear that we're out of time. I could stay on here all day and talk to you guys, but we got to get to work. So thank you for taking a moment for yourself though today and being obsessed with you. And this is powerful. Have that, and listen, if you need to, like, put that, like, I don't even know what the audio is, but like that minute, I'm thinking that I really want to listen to that every morning and just get clear and even say it in my brain, even if I didn't write it down, even in my brain would be good too. But this is going to be good. So this week, your assignment is invite to the Coach Explore and let me know so we can schedule that. Whoever's first in, scheduling it, I'll do that. And then we have, so it's next week. So let's do 7 to 11. Okay. Sorry, 8 to 11, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 4 chapters, 8 to 11. And then you have the rest of Christmas break until we come back. So we're going to have the Zoom next week, but not the week after that. And then we're going to have it in January. So you're going, to chapter 11 next time, and then 11 to the end the following. I think it's like only 14 though, so it'll be light reading. But and I think let's just focus on that this week. I don't have many other action steps, but unless you guys can think of something I'm missing. Next week, I want to focus on more, like I told you, next year or at the beginning of the year, I really want to focus more on your strengths and sharing them with the group and having you guys lead some more. So next week, we're going to focus a lot on your strengths. We kind of went over a few questions about that, but I want you to be thinking about that in preparation. Okay? All right, guys. Thanks so much. Loved all your thoughts. Have a great week.